If we talk of higher order derivatives, we are actually getting the derivative of the derivative. Okay? So yung unang derivative na kinukuha natin, we call that as the first or the first order derivative. Ito yung usual na ginagawa natin. Okay? Now, if we take the derivative of that, okay, that is now the second order derivative. And taking the derivative of the second order derivative gives us the third order derivative. And so on and so forth. So this is the notation. We have f prime, f double prime, f triple prime, and for fourth and above, ito naman yung ginagamit nating notation, f, tapos 4 na naka-enclose sa parenthesis, para hindi tayo malito sa f raised to 4. Okay? Kasi minsan ginagamit din natin yung y. So para hindi tayo malito doon. Or in general, this is the notation, the nth order derivative of f. So, ganun lang. Kunin mo lang yung derivative ng derivative to get the higher order derivative. For example, find the second derivative of f of x equals 3x raised to 4 minus 2x cubed plus 12x squared minus 8x minus 11. So, since second order ang hinahanap natin, kunin muna natin yung first. So we have 12x cubed minus 6x squared plus 24x minus 8. Now, if we take the derivative of that, we have f double prime of x equals 36x squared minus 12x plus 24. Ganun lang kadali. Okay? Next, if f of x equals the square root of x, find f double prime of 4. So dito, kailangan natin yung second derivative. So una muna, kunin muna natin yung first derivative. We have 1/2 x raised to negative 1/2. Kasi diba, yung f of x natin, pwede natin siyang isulat as x raised to 1/2. By power rule, that is just equal to 1/2 x raised to 1/2 minus 1. Kaya, 1/2 x raised to negative 1/2. Now, taking the second derivative, we have negative 1/4 x raised to negative 3/2. Tama? So, we have 1/2. Yun yung una. Tapos ito, i-derivative natin, we have negative 1/2 x raised to negative 1/2 minus 1. Kaya siya naging ganito. Pero ang gusto nating makita ay yung f double prime of 4. So we will evaluate this by 4. So that is f double prime of 4 equals negative 1/4 times 4 raised to negative 3/2. Or that is equal to negative 1 over 32. Find the first four derivatives of y equals negative 2x raised to 5 plus x raised to 4 minus 9x squared. So, kunin muna natin yung first derivative, that is y prime equals negative 10x raised to 4 plus 4x cubed minus 18x. Then the second derivative, we have negative 40x cubed plus 12x squared minus 18. Third derivative, inuulit-ulit lang natin, we have negative 120x squared plus 24x. And finally, the fourth derivative is equal to negative 240x plus 24. Find the third derivative of f of x equals 2x plus 1 raised to 4. So, taking the first derivative, we have, power rule lang to, then chain rule. 4, ibaba natin, so we have 4. Then 2x plus 1 cubed, minus 1 siya. Okay? And then, times derivative ditong nasa loob is 2. So that is 8 times 2x plus 1 cubed. Now, for the second derivative, we have, okay, ito magiging 8 times 3, 2x plus 1, 3 minus 1 is 2, and then yung derivative ng 2x plus 1 is 2. Kaya magiging 24 times 2x plus 1 squared times 2, or that is equal to 48 times 2x plus 1 squared. And finally, the third derivative is, so we have 48 times 2 times 2x plus 1 raised to 1 na lang siya kasi nag-minus 1 times yung derivative ng 2x plus 1 is 2. So we have 48 times 2 is 96 times 2x plus 1 times 2, or that is 192 times 2x plus 1. Example number 5, if y is equal to x cosine x, find y double prime. So taking the first derivative, this will be our f and this will be our g. So f prime is 1 times g is cosine x plus g prime is negative sine x times f, which is x. So that is equal to cosine x minus x sine x. Taking the second derivative, we have negative sine x minus, so eto, f na natin to, g natin to. So we have f prime times g plus g prime times f. Or that is now equal to negative sine x minus sine x minus x cosine x. Or negative 2 sine x minus x cosine x. Example number 6. Find the second derivative of f of x equals 5x cubed plus sine x. So the first derivative is 15x squared plus cosine x. The second derivative now is 30x minus sine x. Example number 7. Find the second derivative of f of x equals cosine squared of 7x. So meron tayo ditong composition of function. So let's say our u is cosine of 7x. F of u is u squared. Okay? Pero dito sa u natin, di ba meron pa tayo ditong dalawa ulit. Let's say v is equal to 7x and f of v is cosine v. So tatlo yan. Taking the first derivative, we have, okay, by power rule muna tayo. Ito munang cosine squared of 7x. So we have 2 times cosine of 7x raised to 1. Kasi 2 minus 1. Okay? Then, kunin natin yung derivative ng cosine 7x. So that is negative sine of 7x. And then, kunin natin yung derivative ng 7x. So we have 7. Or that is negative 14 cosine of 7x sine 7x. By taking the second derivative, we have negative 14, kasi constant yan, pwedeng ilabas. So, eto, meron tayong f dito at g dito. So, f prime is negative sine 7x times 7 by chain rule times g, which is sine 7x, plus cosine 7x times 7, that is our g prime, times f, which is cosine 7x. Or that is now negative 14 times negative 7 sine squared of 7x plus 7 cosine squared of 7x. Or that is now 98 sine squared 7x minus 98 cosine squared 7x. Example number 8. Find the second derivative of f of x equals sine of 2x cubed minus 9x. So our u here is 2x cubed minus 9x and our f of u is sine u. By chain rule, we have cosine of 2x cubed minus 9x, ito yung derivative ng sine natin, times yung derivative ng nasa loob is 6x squared minus 9. So that is 9x squared minus 9. So that is 6x squared minus 9 times cosine 2x cubed minus 9x. Taking the second derivative, so this is our f, and this will be our g. So f prime is 12x times g plus g prime is negative sine of 2x cubed minus 9x times 6x squared minus 9, kasi chain rule yan, times f, which is 6x squared minus 9. So that is now 12x cosine of 2x cubed minus 9x minus 6x squared minus 9 squared times sine of 2x cubed minus 9x. Example 9. Ito naman. Find d squared y of dx squared. Ito, ibig sabihin lang nito ay second derivative. So, ganito yung iba pang notation. Okay? So, or d cube y over dx cube. Ibig sabihin naman yan ay third derivative. Okay? Equal lang yan kay f triple prime or kay y triple prime. So, let's find the second derivative if 2x cubed minus 3y squared equals 8. So since this is an implicit equation, so we will use implicit differentiation. That is 6x squared minus 6y dy over dx is equal to 0. So tinuha natin yung derivative nito, tapos yung derivative nito. Or that is negative 6y dy over dx equals negative 6x squared. So nilipat natin yan dyan sa kabila. Then, solving for dy over dx, we have negative 6x squared over negative 6y. Pero pwede nating i-cancel yan at yan. Therefore, we have dy over dx equals x squared over y. Now, yun pa lang yung first derivative natin. And we want the second derivative. So, we will take now the derivative of this. Okay, since this is a quotient, gamitan natin ang quotient rule. This is our f, and this is our g. So we have f prime times g, so we have 2x times y, minus g prime is 1 times dy over dx, times f, which is x squared, all over g squared, which is y squared. Simplifying, we have 2xy minus x squared dy over dx over y squared. But we know that dy over dx is equal to x squared over y, right? Therefore, d squared y over dx squared is equal to, palitan natin yung dy over dx, so we have 2xy minus x squared times x squared over y all over y squared, or that is 2xy minus x raised to 4 over y all over y squared. At pag ginawa nating similar fraction yung nasa taas, we now have 2xy squared minus x raised to 4 over y all over y squared. Or simplifying, we have d squared y over dx squared equals 2xy squared minus x raised to 4 all over y cubed. And note that y should not be equal to 0. Example number 10. Find the fifth derivative of y equals 2x raised to 7 minus 3x raised to 4 minus 12x. So by power rule, our first derivative is 14x raised to 6 minus 12x cubed minus 12. Then second derivative, we have 84x raised to 5 minus 36x squared. Third derivative, we have 420x raised to 4 minus 72x. The fourth derivative now is equal to 1680x cubed minus 72. And finally, the fifth derivative is 5040x squared. Example number 11. If f of x equals negative 2x cubed minus 4x raised to negative 3, find f triple prime of 2. So, kunin muna natin yung third derivative niya. So, the first derivative is negative 6x squared plus 12x raised to negative 4. Power rule lang yan. Second derivative is negative 12x minus 48x raised to negative 5. And the third derivative is negative 12 plus 240x raised to negative 6. Evaluating f prime of x by 2, then we have negative 12 plus 240 times 2 raised to negative 6, or that is negative 12 plus 240 times 1 over 64, or that is negative 8.25. Example 12. Find the second derivative of f of x equals cosine of 5 minus 2x squared. So, chain rule ulit tayo dito. Our u is 5 minus 2x squared, and our f of u is equal to cosine of u. For our solution, f prime of x is equal to, okay, kunin muna natin yung derivative nito, negative sine of 5 minus 2x squared. Then, yung derivative ng nasa loob, we have negative 4x. Or that is 4x sine of 5 minus 2x squared. For the second derivative, we have, okay, this is our f, and this is our g, itong buong sine. Okay? So, f prime is 4 times g, okay, that is sine of 5 minus 2x squared, plus, okay, g prime now is, eto, naka-chain rule siya. So, we have cosine of 5 minus 2x squared times negative 4x. Eto yung buong g prime. Times f is 4x. Or we have 4 sine of 5 minus 2x squared minus 16x squared cosine of 5 minus 2x squared. Example number 13. Find the second derivative of f of x equals e raised to 2x plus 1. So, first derivative is, okay, by chain rule, e raised to 2x plus 1 times 2. Kasi ang u natin dito is 2x plus 1. Ang f of u natin is e raised to u. So, that is equal to 2 times e raised to 2x plus 1. Second derivative, we have 2 times yung derivative nito, which is e raised to 2x plus 1 times 2, or that is 4 times e raised to 2x plus 1. And finally, find the second derivative if y squared minus 2x is equal to 1 minus 2y. Again, implicit differentiation, the first derivative is 2y dy over dx minus 2. Okay? Kinuha natin yung derivative dito. Equals, derivative naman nito, we have 0 minus 2 dy over dx. Or that is, ilipat natin to sa kabila at ito sa kabila, 2y of dy over dx plus 2 of dy over dx equals 2. So, pwede natin i-cancel yung 2 pag dinivide natin silang lahat by 2. So, we have y of dy over dx plus dy over dx equals 1. Factoring out dy over dx, we have dy over dx times y plus 1 equals 1. Dividing that by y plus 1, we have dy over dx is equal to 1 over y plus 1. Now, taking the second derivative, so kunin natin yung derivative nito, we have f na 1 and g na y plus 1. So, we have the second derivative now is f prime is 0 times g, which is y plus 1, minus g prime, which is dy over dx plus 0, kaya dy over dx na lang yan, times f is 1 all over g squared, which is the square of y plus 1. Or that is 1 over y plus 1 all over y plus 1 squared. Or that is 1 over y plus 1 cubed.